here we are back again in some Splatoons. Yep, I'm not making the same mistake as last week, man. Minecraft, like, the second I stopped having to worry about shit on the stream last week, Minecraft went so much better. Oh my gosh, trying to do shit while we played Minecraft, stressful thing in the world. Not having to do shit, oh my god, it went so much better. Yeah, like once we stopped having to do, Minecraft, we raided a challenge outpost right in a separate stream. The dedicated 1.21 stream. We raided one, went back to two others to find any chests I'd missed. Turns out I'd only missed like one. So we didn't actually find much. And now here we are back in the Splatoon. Splatoon. Oh, I'm tired. I'll be honest. It's been a busy 2 weeks. And God, Monday. But that's a whole other thing. That doesn't matter. And that's not even counting the Nintendo Direct, man. Like, that was... Like, work was already stressful enough. And then outside of work, oh my god, we had a Nintendo Direct. You know, I love me some Nintendo Direct. So that's tonight. We're gonna go back over the Nintendo Direct. I'll go over most of the announcements, probably not everything. But, I'll comment on a bunch of things. So we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct. I have my thoughts developed. Maybe, I don't know, I've seen some of these trailers like 1,000 times. Specifically the Zelda one. Because, I totally get why people love reaction videos, man. It was it the 5th year anniversary of Etika passing away? It was some sort of anniversary of Etika passing away. And, right, so I've had that on my mind. Plus, everything else, the Nintendo Direct. And I'm like, God, I loved reaction videos. Like, there's a reason I do this, right? Even if nobody watches. Because, God, I just love reactions, man. Right, seeing people watch the new Zelda trailer and just be like, oh my god, is this Link to the Past? Is this a remake of one of the Oracle games? And then find out it's something brand new. Or there's a bunch of women who, since Zelda is a playable character, right, this means a lot to them. Right? Because representation does matter. I don't care what any of these fucking conservatives say. Representation matters. Because, of course, people have already looked at the new Zelda trailer and are like, Zelda's gone woke. Like, God, I can't. Why did you not all die from COVID? Man, like, that was supposed to kill you all. Where was it? I saw a video of, like, you see videos of people being like, I regret getting the vaccine. I've never seen a video of someone saying, I don't regret getting the vaccine. Outside of that being a straight up lie. Like, I have seen videos of people dying in hospital beds being like, I regret not getting the vaccine. But on top of that, the response was just showing a cemetery. And being like, yep, these are all the people who regret not getting the vaccine. That's really fucking funny. But no, so, seeing people, like, see themselves in Zelda, and now that they can play as Zelda, how much this representation matters. It makes it, right, the Mario Wonder developers, one of the reasons they added Daisy as a character is because he has 2 daughters. And, right, of course, one daughter would always play as Peach, but the other daughter always had to play as, like, Toad or something like that. So that's part of the reason why he added in Daisy, was so that way, right, he could have characters for both of his kids to play. Because guess what? Representation fucking matters, and yeah. But yeah, so watching people react to the Zelda Direct has been a lot of fun. So I have seen that Zelda trailer like 1,000 times. And I've seen some of the Metroid Prime one. Someone did a great animation of Arlo reacting to the Metroid Prime trailer, and it's really funny. I'm sure if you go on his Twitter, I know he made it his icon, an image from that, but I recommend going and watching it. It's pretty funny. So yeah, Nintendo Direct time. So the Direct opens up with Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now, I like the Mario and Luigi games. I should say I do like the Mario and Luigi games. The first one I ever played was Bowser's Inside Story. It wasn't even mine, it was my brother's copy, because he bought it, and then I played on like the second save file or whatever. That game is actually, our copy of Bowser's Inside Story is permanently fucked, because we used Action Replay on it at some point, right? He beat the game, and then he like replayed it like 2 or 3 times, because, you know, we were kids, we do that stuff all the time. And he used like an Action Replay on one of his playthrough, and it somehow like permanently screwed up our copy of the game, where when you get to there's a certain point where you get like the blue Koopa shell for Mario and Luigi, and you're like up in the clouds, and for some reason we screwed up something, and those Koopas that give you the blue Koopa shell just don't spawn, and you can't, like, you need to talk to them to progress the story. So our copy is permanently messed up. It doesn't matter if you delete the save file. I don't even think if you go to like the other save file, like save file number 2, it changes anything. Nope, that copy is just permanently messed up. You can never actually beat the game again. So even though I have played Bowser's Inside Story, I have never actually beaten it, fun fact. Of course, I've played the 3 other ones. I went back and I played Superstar Saga at some point. And then I played Partners in Time. Probably around the same time probably around the same time I tried to play Bowser's Inside Story. I did not... Superstar Saga, I do like. I thought it was good. You know, it was fine. I probably played it emulated, but you didn't hear that from me. Partners in Time, on the other hand, I don't actually care for. I don't know. There was just something weird about Partners in Time. You know, the whole alien plot. Like, yeah, I'm glad they did something different. I just didn't think it was that fun. So I actually don't love Partners in Time that much. And then Bowser's Inside Story is amazing. It's kind of common knowledge that Bowser's Inside Story is like the best game in the series. That's like that one meme about, hey, you peaked? Wait, what? I peaked. Yep, you peaked. That originates from someone talking about Bowser's Inside Story. Because guess what? The series peaked right there. But I will defend Dream Team. It was called Dream Team, right? I like Dream Team. I think, like, it was a good expansion on the Mario and Luigi, right? The ideas presented in the previous game. Instead of having, you know, you go inside Bowser, you instead go into the Dream World. And what happens in the Bowser's Inside Story, what happens with Bowser then affects the real world. Like, so you can get Bowser to drink water, and it floods the world with Mario and Luigi. Makes sense. Dream Team does something similar, where when Mario is in the Dream World, what you do to Luigi affects everything. So, like, you can put Luigi on, like, a heated bed. And when the bed heats up, the world turns into, like, a fire world, or something like that. I remember you put him on, like, a raft that you can rotate. And depending on the rotation of Luigi, it affects the rotation of the dream. It's got some interesting concept. I definitely, like, there are elements where it's like, it's clearly trying to be like an evolution of the idea from Bowser's Inside Story, but, you know, it's trying to do something different, right? Or it's trying to, like, expand upon or twist the ideas of Bowser's Inside Story. Then, Paper Jam, you would think for Paper Jam, they would be like, okay, you're in the overworld, and right, you're doing stuff in the overworld, traditional Mario and Luigi style. But then when you go, then you would be able to go into, like, the paper world. And there would be, like, a bunch of, like, paper elements, right? Kind of like how you go inside Bowser, or you go inside the Dream World, you could go inside the paper world. Nope, it entirely takes place in the Mario and Luigi world. Outside of Paper Mario and, like, Paper Bowser and Peach being there, there are very few references to any previous Paper Mario game. And just in general, that game was a letdown. Like, it felt a lot less creative than the previous two. So I get why that game was underwhelming. They brought back the Koopalings, which, again, were just less interesting. Because, you know, the previous... Like, one of the best things about Bowser's Inside Story is that it introduces a bunch of new and fun characters. Or takes the characters from Superstar Saga and expands upon them. Because guess what? The villain of Bowser's Inside Story, Fawful, was the henchman of Cackletta from the first game. And, like, he's really funny in that, and he's really funny in Bowser's Inside Story. It really is amazing. And then from there, Alpha Dream just started remaking ones. I understand the remake of Superstar Saga. I get that. I get why that would happen. And it was a fine remake, from what I heard. But then they remade Bowser's Inside Story. And I'm gonna be honest, there was no reason to do that. There was nothing that justified, like, yeah, Bowser's Inside Story needed a remake. Because guess what? It didn't. And then Alpha Dream went bankrupt. Nintendo didn't bail them out. They just died. They died a slow, agonizing death. And it sucks. And that was it. That was... Most people just kind of figured, like, oh, that's the death of the Mario and Luigi series. And then with the revival of Paper Mario, you know... Because for a long time, Mario and Luigi just replaced Paper Mario. Like, Paper Mario was, you know, about stickers and paint and shit like that. Mario, if you wanted an actual RPG, you go play Mario and Luigi games. And, like, that's not what people wanted. And now that we're back in, like, hey, guess what? Mario can do RPGs again. It was just kind of assumed that, yeah, Mario and Luigi's just kind of dead forever. But no, they're not dead forever. We're getting a new one. I love the new art style, right? Because it reminds me a lot of, like, the box art from some of the previous games, right? Like, you look at, like, the box... Because, you know, I'll be honest, the Mario and Luigi games have never had great box art. Because they use white background. Like, they use, like, the generic Photoshop backgrounds. I wonder what the game is called in Europe. Because, if you don't know, the Mario and Luigi games in Europe are called Mario and Luigi Bros. So it's like Mario and Luigi's, Mario and Luigi Bros, Bowser's Inside Story, Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros. They're called the Mario and Luigi Bros series. I actually haven't heard, is this new one called Mario and Luigi Bros Brothership? Or Brothership Bros, however they name it. I actually have no idea. I haven't heard anyone say anything, so I would assume maybe no. But you never know. And why they're called the Bros, I have no idea. I want to say Yahtzee Croshaw once speculated it's because if they didn't say they were brothers, Europeans would think they were gay lovers. Because, you know, you never know when something's gay or European. But no, I think this new one, the art style looks great. It definitely reminds me more of Superstar Saga than anything else. Like, it's clearly, right, like, they're not trying to do the Bowser's Inside Story route again. They're clearly, I mean, they might be with, like, the ship stuff and everything. They might actually be doing more of that than because that's what I think what works about Bowser's Inside Story so well, is that you have those two worlds. Is you have, right, the world of Mario and Luigi, which is more of like a 2D platformer, and then you have the world of Bowser, which is more of like a 3D overworld sort of thing. I think it actually works really well, and Dream Team copied it, and also it worked really well there. And right, I thought Paper Jam would do it as well, and then they just didn't, and that kind of sucked. But I don't think the new one's going to do that. If anything, they're going to do, you know, you have traditional 3D overworld, and then you've got Wind Waker segments that just, you know... Because Paper Mario, the most recent one, did have an entire section of the game that was just copy and pasted from Wind Waker. Like, they literally just ripped off Wind Waker and Origami King. And it was actually really fun. And, like, it even ended with you getting the Triforce, kind of. You went to, like, Temples of Power, Wisdom, and Courage. It all worked really well. It's pretty cool. Origami King was a fine game. It wasn't anything amazing, but it had moments like that where it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Now, will I actually pick this one up? Probably not. And the only reason I say probably not is it has nothing to do with the game. It has more to do with my backlog. Because in the last within a 12-month period, we got the Mario RPG remake, Legend of the Seven Stars. We got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, and now we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game in 12 months. And I haven't beaten any of them, right? I haven't beat the Super Mario RPG remake. I haven't beaten Thousand Year Door. I haven't even touched Thousand Year Door. I need to at least beat one of them before I pick up Dream Team Bros. Or Brothership Bros. So, yeah, that's why I have no plans to pick it up anytime soon. But, you know, maybe I'll bunker down one of these days, play through Legend of the Seven Stars, finally beat that game, because I've never beaten that game, fun fact. I've tried like 6 times, and I've never actually beaten it. And it's been years since I last tried. The last time I tried was right before Animal Crossing New Leaf came out, and the second Animal Crossing New Leaf came out. Boom, that was all I played. Right? I just kind of gave up on the game and just started playing nothing but New Leaf. Random fact. But no, I think Brothership looks great. November release dates are pretty... You know, Nintendo usually tries to get a Mario game or some sort of big game out around that time. And I feel like a Mario and Luigi game would sell really well. I mean, it's got Mario and Luigi on it, so... Yeah, that makes sense. They talked about NES World Championships Edition. Yeah, guess what? That's a game that exists still. I honestly didn't... there was totally a chance that they just didn't even mention it. Because, you know, we all kind of know what it is. But everyone was watching the Direct, so you might as well talk about it. They showed off, like, a battle mode, or... I think it was called survival mode. It looks fine. Right, it's Battle Royale, classic NES game. You know, I feel like that's gonna be, like... That's the type of game where it's like, I think it's $30. Yeah, that's going to be a fun few hours, and then I'll never think of it again. But for that few hours, I don't know, if it was less money, I'd maybe have more justification of buying it. But for that few hours, that's going to be a good few hours. They showed off a Fairy Tail game. Again, I used to actually be big into the anime Fairy Tail. It was the first anime I watched over 100 episodes of. Because even though I watched Inuyasha back in the day, I don't think I've ever seen 100 episodes of Inuyasha. And I've never seen One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, or Dragon Ball. Did Zatch Bell ever get 100 episodes dubbed? Because I want to say Zatch Bell was 150 episodes. And they might have only dubbed the first 100. Ooh, the more I think about it, maybe Zatch Bell is the first one. But no, I liked Fairy Tail. Eventually, it lost me sometime before whatever this game is about. I kind of just fell off, and I never picked it back up. Where did I fall off from Fairy Tail? It was at some point after the time skip with the where the Celestial Keys all turn evil and try to like kill them all. Yeah, that was around the time I fell off of Fairy Tail. Yeah, when those episodes were airing. Fantasia Neo Dimension. I don't remember which game this one is. Fantasio Neo Dimension. No idea. I can't remember. I know there were a few remakes in here. I don't know if this was one of them. It sounds like it could be, but I don't honestly know, so I'm not gonna... I don't know. There were a few RPGs during this Direct. Guess what? It's a Nintendo Direct. They always have a few RPGs. Nothing new here. Next up, they added basketball to Switch Sports. I'll be honest, I did not see that coming. Because, you know, they haven't talked about Switch Sports in years, right? Like, the last update for that game, Golf, when they added Golf, came out in, like, January of, like, 22. It's been a long time since they added Golf. And, you know, it was safe to assume that that game was dead. But no, they're doing a new update. I'm amazed we didn't get a release date. They just said summer 2024. We're currently in summer. It was the summer solstice, like, yesterday. My guess is it's August. Because guess what? Nintendo doesn't have an August game lined up for release. This is their August game. They're going to be like, hey, guess what? Basketball's out. I'm surprised it wasn't baseball. Because I know a lot of people really want baseball. Because, you know, baseball wasn't in Wii Sports Resort, whereas basketball was. So, you know, seeing baseball again after a while would have been really cool. But no, it's a very random update. I wonder if they're going to if we're going to get another random update in like the winter time that maybe adds like basketball or one of the other sports. I don't know. Switch Sports technically isn't a bad game. Its worst crime is being forgettable. But I had fun with it. You know, I put a lot of time into bowling because I liked Wii Sports Bowling. Right? Wii Sports Bowling. I used to love bowling, man. I used to go bowling like every week. And then COVID happened, and I have not been. I've been once. In the what, 4 years since COVID, 3-4 years, I have been bowling once. God, I miss it. So, right, the only thing I have to replace it with is Wii. And I'm talking about, like, real bowling. I'm not talking about, like, Wii Sports Bowling. No, I'm talking about, like, real bowling. You know what else I miss? Swimming. I also haven't been swimming since before COVID. God, do I miss it. Man, I miss the ocean. Yeah, but what you gonna do? Next up, Mio Memories in Orbit. This is probably the sleeper hit of this direct. It's a Metroidvania game. In the live reaction, I referred to it as a big-headed child in a scary world style game, which I definitely think it is. But it is also a Metroidvania. It reminds me a lot of Ori and the Blind Forest, which is not an insult, right? That's a good thing. So yeah, I definitely think this is the sleeper hit. I would love to see more like indie game, because I don't know if this is an indie game, but it definitely feels like an indie game. I would love to see more stuff like this at Nintendo Directs, you know, because usually Nintendo saves indie stuff for indie presentations, whereas like PlayStation and Xbox, to their credit, they put indie games right alongside their Gears of War or their Horizon Forbidden Wests, right? PlayStation, admittedly, they usually only have one type of conference, but they let indie games share the spotlight. Whereas Nintendo, nope, it's Indie Direct or it's nothing. So that would have been cool, but yeah, it looks fine. Right? I definitely see it as a sleeper hit. It comes out next year, so it's still a while away, but yeah. Disney Illusion Island. I've heard Disney's Illusion Island is actually a pretty good game. I've heard good things about it, so maybe one day I'll check it out. Not anytime soon, though. But hey, free update, that's cool. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Ha ha ha, South Park joke. It's weird that they pointed out that it's console exclusive to Switch, because it's a mobile game. But yeah, it being console exclusive, like, okay, sure. Really like, it's weird that you're bragging about this, Nintendo, but I guess Hello Kitty is a bigger deal for some people than others. I'll be honest, I don't care about Hello Kitty, like, at all. There's that Looney Tunes thing later in the Direct. Can I be honest? I don't actually really care about Looney Tunes. Like, yeah, you know, I love some of the classic shorts. Like, I grew up watching some of the classic shorts on, like, reruns or on Boomerang, right? So I like some of the shorts. But, like, the Looney Tunes characters honestly don't mean that much to me. Same thing with the Peanuts characters. Oh, God, I used to love Tiny Toons. Yeah, Tiny Toons and the one where the Looney Tunes were babies. Man, I used to love those shows. Maybe I actually like the Looney Tunes more than I think. Yeah, maybe I like them more than I think I do. The new Looney Tunes game, though, the basketball one they showed during this Direct, very clearly a mobile game that they're just porting to console. So, yeah, fuck that. Who cares? Among Us gets a new update. Oh, cool. They're adding some new roles for console players. Too bad these have all existed on mods for years now. But, you know, they're cool roles. They're fine roles. I love... Among Us with roles is a lot of fun. If you've never played modded Among Us, it's so much fun. Yeah, is it hard to keep everything straight? Sure. Have I not played modded Among Us in, like, a year plus? Yeah, but it's fun when you can get it working. Farmagia is a weird... So, Farmagia is a weird game. Because it's, like, farming game. But it reminds me of, like, Monster Hunter, and it reminds me of Pikmin. I'm not entirely sure what to make out of it, other than that it's interesting, And if it reviews good, I could see myself picking it up. Because you know what? Fuck it. It's weird. Like, the fact that you're, like, growing foxes on the cob. Like, that's weird, but that's weird in a good way. And, again, in some ways it kind of reminds me of Pikmin, and you know I'm a slut for Pikmin. So, yeah, I guess I kind of get it. I see where the appeal might come from. But yeah, it's really fucking weird, but I like weird. And JRPG weird is fine. Admittedly, it's not my preferred weird, but hey, I'd rather have that than a 300-year-old lolly. Next up, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. As everyone has pointed out, this game doesn't actually look that much HDer. I saw a tweet somewhere that I guess Game Explains looked into it, and there's actually a bunch of like special effects missing that were on the Wii version that aren't in this version. Cause yeah, this looks like, you know how they did the Pikmin 1 and 2 ports? This looks like what they did that, right? They just took the already existing game, didn't change anything, and then just upscaled it to 1080p, right? From the original's 480. It does not look great. But I'm fine with that. You know, I'm fine with that as long as they don't charge $60 for it. Knowing Nintendo, they probably will charge $60 for it, because they did Tropical Freeze. They charged $60 for Tropical Freeze, so they will probably charge $60 for this. But if it was like 30 or 40, oh my god, that's a day one instant buy. It is interesting that it's coming out in January, because I think that's going to be one of the last Switch games. Because I'm still, my stance has not changed. I think the Switch 2 is coming out in March. So a January game would be one of the last games that's not on Switch in Switch 2. Because I'm pretty sure we're going to get a brief period where we get games on both systems. You know, at least for like the first year of the Switch 2. Because, you know, like we're in like year 4 of the PS5. And we're still getting games on the PS4. That's crazy. Like, I know it's because you know, the PS5 was rare for a long time. It's not rare anymore. But still, that's kind of wild. But I also feel like that's just the future of consoles. Because the PS5 and the Xbox Series X haven't really justified their existence. I mean, I think the PS5 has done a better job than the Xbox, but that's just me. Then again, because, right, the PS5 also only has, like 6 exclusive games. And admittedly, I like most of those exclusives, right? Demon's Souls. Okay, I haven't played that one. But, you know, God of War Ragnarok. I haven't played that one. It has 2 Spider-Man games. I loved both of those. I'm sure there's Horizon Forbidden West is a game that exists. You know, it's got some stuff. Whereas Xbox, I couldn't tell you a single thing on the Xbox Series X outside of Halo Infinite. Like, I know there has to be stuff, because I know there's stuff on Game Pass. Oh, I guess Starfield. Starfield's, I guess, another one. But no, I think this Donkey Kong, it looks fine. Right? I think, oh wow, a remake. It's got, hopefully, the better controls and some of the new levels from the 3DS version. That's kind of all I need. As long as they don't charge $60 for it, I think it'll do fine. And I genuinely think Nintendo has got at least a little better at pricing in recent years. I mean, that new Wario game was, I think, like 40. Wii Sports, Switch Sports was like 40 as well. It's better, right? That's not perfect, but it's better than where they were before. Because they would have easily charged 60 for both of those. But no, I want to play Donkey Kong Country Returns again. I kind of want to play Tropical Freeze again. Dragon Quest III. So Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. That's the official name. Got shown off. I think it looks fine. You know, I'm fine with the HD 2D style. Is there a second map? Have we played a second map? I feel like every level we've done tonight has been this Robin map. But no, it looks fine. I guess someone explained that, like, the reason why they're doing 3 first, and then next year they're going to be doing 1 and 2, is because those games are a trilogy, but 3 is basically a prequel to 1 and 2, so that's why they're doing 3 first, and then they're going to go do 1 and 2. You know, it'd be like if they re-release... It's like when they re-release the Star Wars movies in theaters, and instead of starting off with Episode 4, like, I think they should, they instead start with The Phantom Menace. Because guess what? I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to rewatch Star Wars, or if you're going to show Star Wars to someone for the first time, you should show it to them in the order the movie's released. Not the one, not, you know, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, or so on and so forth. You should watch them in the order the movie's released. That is the proper way to watch Star Wars. I will stand by that. I know that hasn't, there's like a, right, there's like chronological and release order. Yeah, no, watch them in release order, not chronological. Dude. There's also a third order as well that I don't remember the name of. Let's see where Dragon Quest 1 and 2. We got to look at Funko Fusion. God, that game looks bad. Like, just visually, it's ugly to look at. Like, Lego games work so well. Because Legos are, right, they're stylized in such a way that they kind of work with anything. Whereas Funkos are just kind of ugly. Like, I'm not a Funko hater, right? I know some people are certified Funkos haters, right? They hate the way they look, the way they sound, their pride, right? Everything about them. And I've got plenty of problems with Funkos. The fact that they still do NFTs is fucking horrendous. But the one thing I get the appeal of Funkos. I have 5, I think. Maybe 6. I think I have 6. But, because I get the appeal, because, like, okay, so earlier today, Good Smile did a presentation announcing some new figures. Like, they're doing, like, Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda, and Ganondorf. They're making a Bulborb figure. They're doing some Delicious and Dungeon figures. And it's like, oh, these are all cool figures. They're all gonna be, like, $100 to $200. Funko, the nice thing about Funkos, they're all, like, 12 to 16, right? Like, your average Funko is going to be 12 to 16 bucks. That's much more affordable. That's why Funko is so big. Because they are affordable. That's what I liked about Amiibo. Amiibos give you some high-quality figures for, like, 12 to 16 bucks. I think, right, some of the cheaper ones are 12 bucks, some of the more expensive ones are 16. And they're good quality. Like, yeah, they didn't start off great, but as time went on, they got better and better. When that price increase happened around the time the Switch released, it increased the quality as well. Like, that wasn't just nothing. That was also an increase in quality. And they were already looking pretty decent before that. Yeah, no, that was one of the nice things about Amiibo. I wish they did stuff, but they're still nice looking figures. I don't know, I'm looking at I have some Link ones on my desk, and they do look nice. We got a quick look at Luigi's Mansion. Hey, guess what? It still looks fine. It's coming out next week. I am probably going to pick it up and replay it, because I like Luigi's Mansion 2. I am not a hater. I think the mission structure is fine. I would be curious I kind of wish the remake had kind of done a thing where it's like, no, let's get rid of the mission structure and see how that changes the game. Right? If it was the only time you ever went to Egad's lab was between the mansions. I think that would have been an interesting change to the game. Because part of the reason the game is mission structured is because of portability. Right? It's why New Super Mario Bros. 2 has such short levels, because they want you to easily pick it up and play. Hey, Lily, how you doing? I'm doing okay. You know, we're talking about the Nintendo Direct right now. Any thoughts on that? The one from earlier this week? So yeah, Luigi's Mansion looks fine. Dempamen. So Dempamen, if you've never heard of it, it was a 3DS game that instead of using like you know how Pokemon Go uses location to determine, like, hey, you go to, you know, your local Starbucks and you're gonna find Pokemon because you're nearby the Starbucks. Dempamen actually did that concept first, and they did it by using Wi-Fi. So you'd like go to Starbucks and connect to the Starbucks Wi-Fi. And that would, you know, show you like, hey, these are the Denpa men here at Starbucks. It was a really weird little, very charming RPG on the 3DS. I know they made more than one of them. I only ever played the first one, but I actually thought the first one was pretty decent. I want to say Bullrog recommended it on his Nintendo Game Room. Which, God, that's like the second time I've mentioned Bullrog in the past, like, 3 weeks. Wild. But no, I do... Okay, it's probably more time than that. My day's going... You know, I've been a little busy. I'm a little tired right now, but other than that, the day's going fine. Yeah, no, new Denpa Men. Okay, that's very random. But, you know, it might be good. Metal Slug, I have no thoughts on whatsoever, so let's move on. Darkest Dungeon 2. This weekend, Nintendo is actually giving away they're doing a trial weekend for the first Darkest Dungeon. So if you have never played Darkest Dungeon and want to give it a shot, if you are a Nintendo Switch Online member, you can try it for free right now. And I'm going to guess the game is also on sale as well. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to try out Darkest Dungeon, they're very hard. I am very bad at Darkest Dungeon. But yeah, it's on sale. It's, you know, it's out right now. So go give it a try. I'm not. I'm awful at those games. They talked about Nintendo Switch Online, Legend of Zelda 4 Swords in Link to the Past, right, on Game Boy Advance. I think it was it's Game Boy Advance. Are coming to Switch. If you have never played 4 Swords, the original 4 Swords, it's a bitch and a half to get that game working. Right? You have to get 4 people with, I want to say you need 4 copies of the game. I may be wrong about that, but it was a pain in the ass to get working. This is honestly the easiest way to play that game. If you can get 3 friends together and the 4 of you play through 4 Swords, you can play through the game in like an hour or 2. I don't think it's that long, but it's, yeah, you know, it's not terrible. I definitely think the sequel like expands on its ideas more, but they're not gonna re-release the sequel. But you know, the original 4 Swords Adventure, yeah, it's a neat little artifact of Nintendo's history. If you've never played it, you know, play it at least once. Metroid Zero Mission. Some people will say Metroid Zero Mission is the best Metroid game. I've never actually played it, because I've been waiting for it to come to Switch Online. Because when given the choice to play Zero Mission or the original Metroid, or the NES version, I actually played the NES version instead. And I don't regret that. I think I had no... Besides for that one point where we got stuck in lava, and we had to slowly and agonizingly die, I actually had a pretty decent time with Zelda, or with the original Metroid, because the original Metroid has one of those weird difficulty curves where the game starts off really hard. No, I don't need any artwork done. The game starts off really difficult, but after you play it for a while, you get some power-ups, you get some missiles and whatnot, it gets easier as time goes on. I'm assuming Zero Mission fixes some of those balance issues. I know it adds points where you get to play as Zero Suit Samus and does some like stealth and whatnot. I don't know. I've heard some great things about Zero Mission. I've never played it. I would say maybe this is the time I finally do, but I'm a little busy right now. But no, I would generally love to play through. I wish Mercury had ported over Metroid 2, their Metroid 2 remake, because I haven't played Metroid 2 in years, and I kind of don't want to pull out a 3DS just to play the remake on 3DS. So no, I probably won't do that, because I would actually love to marathon through the Metroid games again. Zero Mission, to the Metroid 2 remake, Super Metroid, Fusion, and Dread. That sounds like a very good time. But no, I'm just going to do something else instead. They also added a mature N64 app for, you know, where you could play mature games. They added Perfect Dark and Turok. Yeah, okay. I guess Turok was already on Nintendo Switch, right? There was like a re-release of Turok, just like in general. And Perfect Dark hasn't aged that well. Same kind of like GoldenEye. It's not aged perfectly, and the Xbox 360 remake is actually really good from what I've heard. So, but you know, they're doing it. They're definitely going to re-release Conker's Bad Fur Day at some point. We're still missing a lot of rare games. Like, we've gotten some of them, right? We've gotten Banjo-Kazooie, we've gotten Blast Core, we've gotten Perfect Dark, and GoldenEye. But we're missing Donkey Kong 64, we're missing Diddy Kong Racing, we're missing Banjo-Tooie, and we're missing Conker's Bad Fur Day. I would love to see all those games come to Switch. Specifically Diddy Kong Racing, that's the one I want the most. Because I've never played Diddy Kong Racing, but everyone says it's really good. And I'd love to actually, like, play it and find out. So yeah, you know, and unlike, you know, the Conker's Bad Fur Day on the other hand, that is a game that got a remake, but I hear the original actually holds up pretty well. Like, the remake did not vastly improve the original, unlike Perfect Dark. At least that's what I've heard. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. No idea what that was. No opinions on it either way. Okay, that is a thing that exists, I guess. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Everyone's freaking out about this one because I guess this is the first time Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has released in a long time. So everyone's really excited for that. I've never played a Marvel vs. Capcom game before, if I'm being honest. So that's a really cool get. It was later announced that it is coming to PS4 and PC, but they are skipping over Xbox. And I've heard some people are disappointed by that. Some people did want the game to come to Xbox. It's no sweat off my back, though, because, yeah. Sucks to suck, I guess. Nah, I don't care. I get it. I get it. Next up, Mario Party Jamboree. So they're making the argument that this is the biggest Mario Party game ever. And in a lot of ways, yeah, it kind of seems to be. So, right, so Super Mario Party, let's start there. Super Mario Party, I think, is a fine Mario Party game. It's got some okay ideas, but it just it doesn't go far enough. It's definitely better than 9 and 10, but they clearly still had some growing to do. ND Cube. After that, they then made Mario Party Superstars, which, you know, captured a lot of that classic Mario Party spirit, and it was a pretty good remake. I wish it had more boards, because it only had 5, and I wish it had 7, but, you know, other than that, it was a fine game. This new one, right, they're claiming it's the biggest Mario Party yet, and guess what? 7 boards, 5 new ones, and 2 remakes. That's not... So I've seen some people say that's not enough boards. The largest Mario Party only had 8 boards, and that was the first game. Most others have, you know, between 5 and 7. I think 7 is a fine enough number. I'm glad it's more than 5, anyways. I think the ones that at least Western Land's a cool remake. I don't actually know about the Cloud Cuckoo Land or whatever it's called. I've heard mixed things about that one over the past few days. Because I honestly have no memory of it whatsoever. I think the new boards look fine. Because, okay, so one of the things about Super Mario Party is that, you know, people complain about how small its boards are. And I remember doing the research once. Super Mario Party's boards aren't actually that small. Like, if you look at, like, the average Mario Party, I want to say 1 or 2 board, and look at the amount of spaces on that board, and then compare it to Super Mario Party, it's like a 5 to 10 space difference. That's not that big. But yet, even with that being said, Super Mario Party's boards just feel small. And I think it's just down to how, like, it's all knurling, right? The boards may have the same amount of spaces as some classic Mario Parties, but since the spaces are so tightly packed, they feel small. And that's definitely, and that's kind of a problem, right? You want the boards to feel big and grand. And that definitely seems to be a thing this Super Mario Party Jamboree is remedying. Is right, the boards feel a lot bigger now. I think they've got some good concepts. You know, Coconut Mall board. That sounds like a lot of fun. A racetrack board. Not a terrible idea. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I know they've done something like that before. But hey, at least you're not all in the same cart together. There's a woods board. It was like a wood board where you know, some of the spaces are on top of a wiggler. That seems fun. There's some fun ideas in there. I can't remember what the other two are, and then there's the two remake. So yeah, 7 boards, right? It's not the most any Mario Party game has had, but it's like the second most. You know, again, tied with like Mario Party 2 and whatnot. There's 110 mini games. That is the most mini games of any Mario Party. Because, you know, Mario Party once did the top 100 mini games, which sucked. That game sucked. And then I want to say Superstars also has like 100 mini games. So this is even more than that. That's cool. Character-wise, oh yeah. Because one of Superstars' problems was, at least in my opinion, it didn't have that many characters. I think that game only had like 8 or 10 characters. I'm going to say 10, because 10 sounds better. It felt very limiting. Whereas, like, Super Mario Party had, like, 15 characters. Like, 15 or 16 characters. It had a bunch. And I was kind of surprised, like, hey, why does this new game have so few? But now Super Mario Party Jamboree also has, like, 16 characters. I think it even has more than that now. Because it brought back every character from the original Super Mario Party. Plus, they added Ninja. So that we at least know there's, like, 17 characters now. It's something wild like that. It's more than this is the most characters of any Mario Party. I don't think we know if character-specific dice blocks are back. I kind of hope they aren't. I thought the character-specific dice blocks were kind of dumb, because some characters' dice blocks were just better than others. Right? Like, I think of Shy Guys, who was just nothing but 4s. Or Daisy's, who was just 3, and Shy Guys was like nothing but 4, and then 1 0, and then meanwhile Daisy had like 3 4s and 3 3s. It was like a very neutral block. I want to say Bowser had like a 10 on his block, but it also had like a -2. Right, there were some really good blocks, and there were some really awful blocks. I want to say Yoshi had one of the worst. I don't remember specifically what it was. I just remember Yoshi's being awful. I kind of hope that mechanic doesn't come back, but if they do bring it back, it's not the end of the world. I don't know. I feel like since Mario Party 10, ND Cube has come a long way, right? Because after Mario Party 9 and 10, we were pretty down on them, and kind of justifiably so. They did fuck up a lot of things. But I feel like between Super Mario Party, Mario Party Superstars, they have gotten better. They have a better understanding of what makes a good Mario Party. They've gone back to some of the classics. Because I feel like people have forgotten this. But when Mario Party 8 came out, a lot of people were complaining that Mario Party was getting stale. That the games were too repetitive. That the games were all too similar. Because Mario Party used to be a Call of Duty franchise, where it released a yearly installment. I want to say every Mario Party from 2 until 8 were yearly releases. That sounds correct in my head. It used to be a yearly release franchise. 3 on the N64, 4 on the GameCube, and then the 1 on the Wii. It was a yearly release franchise for a while. But then, you know, people got sick of it. They thought it was too repetitive, so Nintendo took a step back. Hudson Soft went bankrupt at some point. I don't remember when they went bankrupt, but I definitely know they went bankrupt at some point in there. And, you know, ND Cube was like, okay, you know, people are tired of Mario Party being so repetitive. Let's reinvent the wheel. And I know some people don't like that, but I give them, I commend them for trying. That after so many after people started complaining the games were too repetitive, they tried to do something different. Sure, 9 was not perfect, but they tried. They get marks for effort. But when it clearly didn't all work out, they definitely should have tried again for Mario Party 10. And in some ways they did. The Bowser Party was an interesting idea with a fucking god-awful execution. Bowser Party could have been awesome. And then they just fucked it up. They completely fucked it up. It sucked. And, right, Mario Party was just like, oh, we're in hell, right? The series is dead. But, you know, they eventually buckled down. They got better. They added online, which was much needed. Because guess what? Online Mario Party is great. I've been watching some old VODs of Chilled Chaos and Ray play Mario Party these past few days. Because I really want to play Mario Party now. I just don't have a group that can get together and play it. So I've been watching other people play Mario Party. Man, Mario Party's a lot of fun. I really got to get a group together in the next like week or two and just play some Mario Party. But we'll see. But no, I think it looks fine. They also added a Battle Royale mode to Mario Party. Very weird, very random, right? A 20-player Battle Royale. But you know what? Fuck it, I'm fine with that. Sure, you know what? You do you, Nintendo. After that, the big announcement, my favorite announcement of the night, the new game, The Legend of Link, Echoes of Wisdom. I am so excited for this game. So when I was watching the Direct, I was like, I know some people don't like this art style. I eventually found out it's Arlo. Arlo's the person I was thinking of. Because he fucking hates the art style. Right? He doesn't... Listening to Arlo talk about it, he sounds like one of those, like, toxic dude bros who's like, why are they toys? I'm a big, strong adult guy. Why are they toys? I don't understand why this new Zelda game is using a toy art style. I'm an adult. I want my games to look mature. I don't want them to look like toys. I'm a big, strong adult man. Fucking Arlo, man. He says a lot of stuff I love, but God, every once in a while, he just comes in with those takes, and I'm like, God, you make it hard to defend you. Of course, Arlo does rule the world, so, like, what the fuck else are we gonna do? Right? He clearly has some sort of gift of prophecy. Clearly he was blessed by some sort of god. But that's neither here nor there. No, I think I like the Link's Awakening art style, man. I really do. Oh wow, a new map finally. I still have yet to play the new map. The one with the squeegees on it. No, I like the art style. I like that, you know, playable Zelda. That has been something I have wanted since Breath of the Wild was announced. Because I remember there was a lot of talk about, hey, is Link in the Breath of the Wild reveal, back before we even knew it was called Breath of the Wild, is that a woman? And we had no idea at the time. I mean, in hindsight, you know, it's obvious, but, you know, maybe they were trying something different. Especially because we had Linkle at some point, and it was like... And the thing is, because Link is a silent protagonist, their gender has never mattered. Right? Silent protagonists are just self-inserts for the player. So it doesn't matter if they're male or female. It never has. And that's why, you know, games like Pokemon and whatnot were so easily able to insert male or female. That's why Dragon Quest has been, in later games, are able to easily insert male or female. Because guess what? They're just player inserts. It doesn't matter what gender they are. Of course, the one ironic thing about that is that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are some of the only games where Link's gender actually matters. Right? Like, would I have loved female lesbian Link? Sure. But, like, they actually have, in recent years, tried to make Link an actual character and give him, like, actual personality traits, make stuff like that, make the fact that he is a silent protagonist actually matter to the story. So, yeah. But no, playable Zelda looks great. The mechanic of, you know, oh, you see that table? You can copy it. And now you can make an infinite stack of infinite tables to climb. You see that mountain? You can climb it. right? Because they're clearly going for, you know, tier. So if you've never watched the GDC talk from the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild developers, in that talk they explained that part, how they thought up ideas for that game was they made a remake of the original 2D Legend of Zelda, you know, the NES version, and then they experimented with like open world ideas in that version. And that's kind of what this new Echoes of Wisdom feels like. It's like they took that idea of like, hey, 2D Breath of the Wild, what if we actually took that to its logical conclusion? And so far, I think it looks interesting. I think there's a lot of promise here. I hope we get some traditional Zelda dungeons. Because, you know, 2D games feel like the one safe place where we're going to actually get 2D Zelda dungeons. Because that is some... I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I do miss traditional Zelda dungeons. And I feel like if there's one place we can get traditional Zelda dungeons, it's going to be a 2D Zelda game that, you know, reuses assets and whatnot from Link's Awakening. No, I think I've watched this trailer like a dozen times. More than that, even. I'm actually kind of sick of this trailer. Like, I don't want to see it again anytime soon. I've seen it so much. But I think it looks great. It's got a lot of interesting ideas. I'm curious to see how they're going to execute on all of it. But I have faith in Nintendo. They've never let me down. The release date being less than... basically 3 months away, that's right around the corner. That'll be here before we know it. And I think that's kind of crazy. I would not expect a release date so soon right now. But that's exactly what they're giving us. But no, I'm going to be curious to see like what the story is, right? Is it just gender swap, or are they doing more with it than that? Right? Like, I kind of want the villain to be someone other than Ganon. Like, I know Link and Ganon are on the box art and everything, but I'd love to see them try something new. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But we'll have to wait and see. Alright, after Legend of Zelda... Oh, we also got the Legend of Zelda... We got a new Switch Lite. That's like a golden Switch Lite. God, that looks so cool. I'll be honest, the best 3DS we ever got was the Link Between Worlds 3DS. That was gold on top and black on the bottom. That 3DS was so fucking cool. And if I had been a little bit older and had a little bit more disposable income, I 100% would have bought that. I would love for us to get like Joy-Con, like gold Joy-Cons, but I just know that's not going to happen. A Pro Control. God, I wish we could get... I love the version... Like, I use a Splatoon Pro Controller. The Splatoon 3 Pro Controller. God, I love this thing so much. I would love to see, like, a gold Pro Controller, but that's never going to happen. After that, they talk about Just Dance. Hey, guess what? Those are games that still exist. After that, LEGO Horizons showed up here. I remember seeing someone talk about LEGO Horizons being here as, like, a joke. I didn't think it was actually going to be here. But sure enough, it is. It didn't get a release date, so we still don't know when that is. But no, it was here. They did at least talk about it. Yeah, a PlayStation game. I don't know. Unlike that, right, that Funko Fusion, right, it reminds me of a Lego game, but it's just ugly as sin and not nearly as fun. It doesn't look nearly as fun. The LEGO Horizons, I hope, is fun. I've heard people got to play it at Summer Games Fest, and supposedly it's actually pretty good. So yeah, I want that to be great. Because I used to love LEGO games back in the day. And personally, I am in a LEGO renaissance right now. Right? I've been big into the LEGO potted plants, the botanical sets. They just announced 2 new botanical sets, by the way. They announced a chrysanthemum and a plum blossom, and they look great. They come with pots. Yeah, they look fantastic. Yeah, no, I've been big into LEGO Botanical recently, in my LEGO Renaissance. So yeah, no, I think LEGO Horizon could be a lot of fun. After that, we got Stray is coming to Switch. Yeah, that game is that game looks so good on PS5. It does not look that great on... It does not look that great on Switch. Hopefully it plays well, but it's clearly taken a hit. But, you know, where the Switch is old hardware at this point. It's a 7-year-old console. Of course it's going to take a hit. Graphical hit. I hope it doesn't take a, like, an actual, like, gameplay hit, right? Like, I hope, like, it doesn't run terribly. Because, like, I'm fine with the game taking... Because I'm not going to replay Stray again, I should say. Because I played it on PS5. I am fine with a game taking a graphical hit as long as it plays well. The Witcher 3, yeah, on Switch, it took a graphical hit. But it plays pretty decently. So, I have no problems with it. After that, they announced the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. These are I think these are 2 or 3 Ace Attorney games that have never been ported outside of America. They were Japan exclusive, so, you know, for people who are fans of Ace Attorney, hey, guess what? You can now play these games legally. Yay. I don't know. Ace Attorney is one of those series that I should get into, but I probably never will. But I think it's actually really easy to, because a lot of games have been ported to Switch. I think it's easier to get into Ace Attorney now than ever before. After that, Romancing Saga 2. I have no idea what that is. That is a thing that exists. There was what was that Danganronpa looking game? Stray... there was the Hobbit game, Tales of the Shire. There was a game made by the developers of Danganronpa where it was like, it's a Fire Emblem game, but you know, you're at like survival high school or whatever, like 100-day high school, or it's some shit like that, but it's a Fire Emblem game. But you know, made by the people who did Danganronpa. That actually doesn't sound terrible, if I'm being honest. But hey, it's what they're doing. And then, of course, our final announcement, Metroid Prime 4. I'll be on... I like the Metroid franchise, right? Metroid 2, Samus Returns, was one of the first games I ever beat. Because I had it as a kid, and I loved it. And after many, many years, I finally did beat it. And it was a big deal. I don't know what the first game I ever beat was. Part of me, if I had to guess, I'd say probably Pokemon Ruby. Because I know I never beat Crystal. I know for a fact I never beat Pokemon Crystal. So maybe Ruby? Because I should say, a lot of the Game Boy games I played were like hand-me-downs from like, you know, those who came before me. Right? Super Mario Land. Because I also know I never beat Super Mario Land. Because I was not good at that game. But no, I did beat Metroid 2. And yeah, so Metroid's always had, you know, a special place in my heart. But I've never played the Prime games. I picked up the Prime trilogy on the Wii U Virtual Console, and I just never played it. And then, of course, Metroid Prime 1 did get a remake 2 years ago now, last year. And it's one of those things that I'll play one of these days, but I just never have. But, you know, everything... I do wish we had gotten more of Metroid Prime 4. I know they did later on release some new footage on the Japanese website. We got like 30 more seconds. It looks fine. It's gonna be... I hope it's gonna be a good game. I do think it is a game that's coming to both Switch and Switch 2. I do not know if it's going to be a launch game. I've seen a lot of debate over whether or not it's going to be a launch day game, or if it's going to come later in sometime in April or May. I think more likely it's going to come out in April or May. But either way, I'm excited for it. And it will, when we're a little closer to release date, I will sit down and play Metroid Prime. I don't know if I'll play 2 or 3. I might, but I don't think you never know. Maybe I enjoy Metroid Prime 1 so much that I'm like, yes, I have to boot up the Wii just to play 2 and 3. The Wii U. You never know. I don't know. I kind of hope they re-release 1 and 2 on Switch. But then again, I was hopeful that they were going to re-release Luigi's Mansion, and that just didn't happen. That would have been cool, though. But no, I just wish we had seen more of it, because I feel like the glimpse we got here wasn't that much. I know there's been a lot of debate over whether or not this is Switch or Switch 2 footage. if, as a gambling man, I think it would be smarter for Nintendo to show Switch 2 footage, to be like, hey, yeah, this is Switch 2, this looks amazing. But I think realistically, they probably showed Switch footage. Just being realistic here. Yeah, and I think the new subtitle calling it Beyond is fine. Yeah, I think that's a fine subtitle. I guess that guy who was like, oh, I was like, oh, this is Evil Samus. I guess he's one of the hunters from potentially Metroid Prime Hunters. I don't know. I know nothing about that game, so I'd have no idea. But I guess that is a character that already exists within the universe. I don't know. And then, yeah, 2025 release date doesn't surprise me at all. So yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct. How did I do on my predictions? Well, I technically didn't do great. I don't know. Let's go through them real quick. When I did predictions, 2 weeks ago? So I knew Luigi's Mansion 2 was going to be there, but I was predicting Luigi's Mansion 1 releasing same day. That didn't happen. So that's like half a point. Metroid Prime 4, I had predicted coming out on Switch and Switch 2. Specifically, what I meant by that is coming out next year. I'm going to count that as correct. I predicted Metroid Prime 2 or 3, 2/3 getting ported. Didn't happen, that one was wrong. I predicted Mario Superstars 2, but new Mario Party. You know, I'm taking my point. I had predicted Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ports. I still believe those are behind the scenes somewheres. Those ports still exist and they are finished. And I would not be surprised if we see them next year. That may be because they've been done for a while and Nintendo doesn't have plans to get a new Zelda game out next year. Maybe those will be launched on Switch 2. Maybe those will be like September Switch 2 next year. I could see it. Because I believe those exist. Nothing's changed my mind on that. I was also predicting a Hyrule Warriors with a playable Zelda, right? I had predicted Hyrule Warriors without Link and only playable Zelda / other her companions. So I want to count like this as like a quarter of a point, because I had actually kind of predicted playable Zelda, not in the right format, obviously, but I had predicted, something. I also talked about the Link's Awakening art style. I'm gonna give myself like a quarter of a point. I know that's is that cheaty? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I predicted something Kirby related, didn't happen. Predicted Rhythm Heaven, didn't happen. Tomodachi Life, didn't happen. I knew Xenoblade Chronicles wasn't gonna happen. I still think that's gonna be a Switch 2 thing. I'm hopeful that's a Switch 2 thing. Chibi Robo, Kid Icarus, or Golden Sun, didn't happen. I said NES Championships wasn't even going to be mentioned, because, Nintendo, kind of like everybody went to Switch last year, Nintendo was just kind of pushing that game out. Yeah, it turns out I was wrong about that. I mean, they didn't talk about it much, but I was wrong. No Pokemon, I was correct about that. No Switch 2, I was correct about that. So I'm going to say, I got like 5.75 out of, 10 something? Out of, probably closer to 15. Yeah, I got I failed. I got maybe a third of my predictions correct. I failed, but whatever, who cares? I at least got something, something's better than nothing. I don't know, man, I just didn't see a new Mario RPG. I even mentioned, one of the reasons why I didn't think we would get a Golden Sun is because we had been getting so many Mario RPGs that Nintendo was, kind of gonna give some more time before doing a new RPG. Nope, clearly that was not the plan, because they're pushing into another one already. So yeah, it happens. But yeah, I still think it's a really good Nintendo Direct. Honestly, if it had just been the new Zelda game, I still would have said, it was a good Direct. Everything else, especially stuff I want to play, that's what makes it for me. Right? The new Mario and Luigi, that's just really, that's really cool. Well, I want to replay Donkey Kong Country Returns. That's a really cool get. Metroid platform, yeah, it looks good. You know, it looks fine. Looks fine. There are like one or two other things. Yeah, they look fine. Admittedly, I didn't care for any of the third-party stuff. Like, because, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom doesn't do anything for me. Farmagia and Neo are fine, but they don't actually do that much for me. If I'm just being honest. Like, yeah, those are things that exist. But when it comes to first-party, could you, like... So, kind of funny, had been, in their Nintendo Direct predictions, they were talking about 4 games in this Direct that are the 4 horsemen of the Switchpocalypse. And honestly... Like, yeah, Donkey Kong Country is definitely one of those games. Like, that totally feels like one of the 4 horsemen of the Switchpocalypse. Mario and Luigi coming out next week definitely feels like one of the 4 horsemen of the Switchpocalypse. The new, the NES World Championships, there's your 3rd horseman. And I guess if we really wanted a 4th one, we would say Mario Party. But honestly, again, Mario Parties come out every 2 to 3 years. So... I feel like if you showed someone this Direct and said, like, hey, is this the final Nintendo Switch Direct? They wouldn't immediately be able to tell. Whereas, like, if you were to show someone, like, I want to say it was, like, 2 years ago, the Nintendo Direct, where, you know, they didn't show off Tears of the Kingdom or anything, and I don't think they showed off anything big. They would say, like, oh, yeah, the Switch is coming. It'll probably be done by next year. I definitely feel like I've seen worse Directs that are a lot more dire than this one. I feel like, yeah, you know, if the Switch... Because, again, originally the Switch 2 was supposed to come out in, like, October or November. Looking at this Direct, I wouldn't entirely know that, right? If you told me, hey, the Switch 2 was supposed to come out in October, based off of this Direct, I would think that's a little far-fetched, because they've still got a good number of things. So, yeah. I was expecting a lot worse, honestly. Like, maybe there's definitely a part of it that is, I went in with low expectations, and getting more than nothing has more than done enough to suffice me. But yeah, to be fair, I did go in with low expectations. And getting more than nothing is enough to suffice me. Plus a new Zelda game. Man, I love me some Zelda. Which, you know, speaking of that, I guess that'll take us into WIBE. Okay, I need to blow my nose for a second there. So, I don't know if I must have eaten something that, like, scratched my throat. Either that or my tonsils are growing back. But my throat has been all sorts of fucked up. It's not like I'm having trouble breathing. It's more that it's, like, scratched or something, and it, like, hurts too. Like, when I sneeze, it, like, pulls the muscle, and that just really fucking hurts. So when I went to, like, sneeze right there, it just pulled the muscle, and I was like, oh shit. Oh god, that's gonna... Oh. I feel like that happens every week, though. Like, I have those moments where, like, I go to sneeze or something, and I just can't breathe. Because my nostrils get completely clogged up. And, you know, I forget how to breathe out of my mouth. Ugh. How am I alive? Okay, let me make sure I'm not muted. So speaking of Zelda, my mother has been playing Tears of the Kingdom, as we've been talking about. She was actually doing pretty good. Alright, I know we had talked... Right, she did the Great Sky Island fairly quickly. Got out of there, and then she'd been wandering around Hyrule, doing some towers, doing some shrines, getting a fair few memories. What ended up happening, since I think last time we talked about this, like 2 weeks ago, she eventually made her way into the desert. She did the Desert Tower, went from the Desert Tower over to the Ganon, geoglyph. From the Ganon Geoglyph, she went into Car Bazaar. I think that may be where we ended up last time. She was in Car Bazaar. She couldn't afford the hairpiece that allows you to move through the desert. So she's been exclusively moving through the desert through night. Right? Like, she can't move through the desert during the day. All of her movement's been done at night. Because she can't afford it. She had like 200, 300 bucks. And she's broke now, but we'll get to that. So eventually she gets to Gerudo Town. She sneaks into the bunker. She talks to Riju. Helps out at the bazaar. Helps out defend the city. Everything goes fine. Sure, she dies a few times, whatever. She goes out into the desert. She does that. She gets into the Lightning Temple. Actually makes her way through the Lightning Temple, like through the first half, like the Indiana Jones trap half pretty quickly. Gets to the second half. Struggles to find the light, because, you know, you need to do some lights with some mirrors in there. Takes her a while to find it. She finds it eventually. Actually does pretty decently getting through the temple. And then gets to the boss. I did not think the Queen Gibdo was going to take her that long. Queen Gibdo, at least in my memory, was not a hard fight. Admittedly, I think it was one of the last bosses I did. I think it was the second to last one I did. So I had a lot more support, a lot more health. I might have pulled the Master Sword by that. No, I hadn't. I pulled the Master Sword like the next part. Or right after doing it. But, you know, admittedly, she's not the best shot with the bow, and Riju's lightning power does require the bow. So, you know, I was kind of worried about that. But I was like, it'll work out. It'll work out fine in the end. She was stuck on the Queen Gibdo for like 3 hours. You know, she would go in, she would get a few hits off, she would die. Because the Queen, she had 5 hearts going into this boss fight. 5 hearts, the starting armor. I think she had like a helmet or something like that. But other than that, no, the starting armor. So she didn't have much. And it would basically 2 to 3 shot her. So she had to do a pretty good run, or, you know, eat a lot of food. Which, admittedly, she only went in with, like, 1 piece of full heal food, and that was it. So, yeah. So she tries for, like, 3 hours. Is really struggling. Because she can pretty consistently get to the second phase. But then in the second phase, she just, like, dies instantly. So I eventually, like, I come over today, and I tell her, like, hey, just leave. Go back to the starting area, buy the starting armor, because, you know, that'll help a lot. Because that literally, going from the, you know, the armor the game starts you with, you know, the gladiator outfit, as I've been calling it, and then going into the, like, you know, like the generic pants, the generic tunic, and the cloak, that'll basically, you know, that gives her, like, an entire, like, 9 points of defense. Which means that the enemy goes from doing like 3.5 hearts of damage to just 1.5 hearts. It helped a lot, actually. I had her go go find a sword and get a electrical Zalfa's horn to make a lightning sword. So that way she could easily kill the Gibdos. Because I forgot how, like, the Gibdos are like runners during that boss fight. Like, they crawl up on you quickly. So I had her go do that. Admittedly, I don't even think she used the lightning sword. But yeah, after that, she gets the lightning sword, teleports back to the boss fight. Within 5 attempts, I think she had beaten it. It took her like 2 more attempts to get warmed up. But then after she was warmed up, she got to the second phase. And then she had 2 bad runs on the second phase. And then on the 3rd time she was able to get to the 3rd phase that day, she was able to take out each of the towers. She had to use up a lot of food. I also had her make more food. She used up almost all of her food, but she did it. She was able to defeat all the towers, get rid of all the enemies, and then killed the Queen Gibdo with lightning. She took a lot of hits, but I was rewatching when I did it on stream. I took so many more hits than she did. Like, you know, she actually did pretty good. And yeah, and I think the Queen Gibdo is like the 2nd hardest fight, because I stand by the hardest as the Muktarok, because that fight sucks. I hate that fight, man. So yeah, I think she did a fine job beating the Queen Gibdo, and I would say now that she's done that, she's probably, part of me wants to say she's a 6th of the way through the game. because there's 5 temples, and then I count the Master Sword, right? You gotta get the memories to pull the Master Sword. So my original thing was like, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, you're a 1/6 of the way through the game, but I'm pretty sure you have to fight Master Koga as part of the story. Like, that's a required story segment. So maybe she's actually only a 1/7 of the way through the game. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of, again, I can't remember if defeating Master Koga is a thing you're required to do. It might be, but I'm not sure. Because I know after you reunite the 4 champions, you go up to the castle, confront Zelda, and then it's like, surprise, surprise, I'm Ganon. And then after that, Purah gives you 2 new quests. Go clear the Thunderdome, and go get the Master Sword. So I remember that. But then I swear she asks you to, like, go fight Master Koga. But I can't exactly remember. And then you go do Ganon. I don't know. It's been a long time. So I don't... I feel like when she went into Breath of the Wild, I was able to help her a lot because I knew a lot of things. But all I have played of Tears of the Kingdom has been on stream. So you can go look at my stream and see everything I have ever done in that game. Like, when it comes to... Because, you know, I haven't told her about the Thunderdome. She's not going to the Thundercloud anytime soon. And I have no idea how to clear it. So that's going to be a mystery we figure out together, I guess. Or, you know, she figures it out on her own without me. But I think she's making good progress. You know, I think she'll be done with the game by August. So, yeah. What else? What else do I have for WIBE? I've been playing a little bit more Minecraft. So we did the Minecraft stream last week, where we raided the Trial Chamber. My hope was to get a heavy core. Because we're missing 1 achievement now, which is to do 50 hearts to a mob with a heavy core, with a mace. And I just couldn't get it. I've since raided another Trial Chamber. I found another one, went through it, still didn't get a heavy core. I opened like another 5 ominous vaults. Nothing. I've definitely... I think... I looked it up. There's a 7.5% chance of getting a heavy core. So that means on average, it should take 13 volts to find one. I have definitely opened more than 13 volts. If I had to guess, I would say I've opened anywhere from 15 to 20. I know it's more than 15, but I think it's less than 20. If I had to guess, I would say 17. But I have no idea. This one did not have another heavy core in it. Admittedly, I haven't got any of the enchanted books either. I have gotten some. I think I got an enchanted golden apple, which I think is rarer than the heavy core. That's got a 5% chance spawn, and I think I've gotten 1 or 2 of those. But no, I cannot get the heavy core. It sucks. I'm still working on it. So that hasn't changed. But other than that, Minecraft is still, now that I have good gear, it's fun again. Combat's not actually a struggle anymore. So yeah, I'm enjoying Minecraft. I'm gonna definitely put another week into it. I'm probably gonna go raid one of, because all the trial chambers I've raided, I've done on my own. So I'm definitely gonna get a group of people together and go raid them, but I'll do that when I do that. I'll get around to that eventually. Yeah, other than that, I've been busy with work. I haven't played any other video games. Like I said, I really want to play a Mario Party again, but I've just been listening to old Chill, Chaos, and Ray Navarez Jr. streams of them playing Mario Party with, Jeremy, Matt, Chibi, people like that, Nags. And those have been fun to listen to, but I definitely want to play Mario Party again. So maybe in the next week or 2. Yeah, anything else? I don't know. I also kind of, so I think Link's Awakening is the Zelda game I have played the most. Because I played it like 3 times last year. And now I kind of want to play it again, man. With the announcement of a new Zelda game, I kind of want to play the old one again. Because, God, Link's Awakening is so good. I know I'm a recency bias guy because I played the game 3 times last year. But Link's Awakening is just so good. It does not get enough credit for how good of a Zelda game it is. I like that beach outfit they've got on. So I guess that brings us to our last thing. So My Adventures with Superman. I'm pretty sure we're on episode 5. Oh, God, I want to say we're on episode 5. I'm going to look it up right now, but I think we are. So one of my worries with this new season was that they were going to wait the entire season to introduce Supergirl, and we were only going to see her in like the final 2 episodes. Nope, here we are, Season 2, Episode 5, Most Eligible Superman, and they've introduced Kara. Yes, a lot of people had said, like, yeah, she's Zod, or, she's at least Zod for the moment. She's the one who says Neil at the end of the first season. And yeah, sure enough, there's definitely this element of, like, yeah, when her ship flew away, it got intercepted by Brainiac, and probably Brainiac, maybe Brainiac in Zod, but definitely Brainiac. And, she was raised to be their weapon, right? Their war machine. So, and she talks about, like, the new Kryptonian Empire and how she's the scion of Krypton. Which I remember in, like, the first or second episode of the show, or of the season, Jor-El refers to himself as the scion of Krypton. I can't exactly remember what that means, but I know it's important. But right, I know we've gotten our preview clip for the next episode. Clark tries to tell her that, oh, Krypton doesn't exist anymore. But they're clearly trying to create the new Krypton. And yeah, he's definitely gonna redeem her by the end of the season, right? Show her what love is like. And she's gonna join their side. I hope she doesn't die. I like Kara. I love this episode because we see Kara and Jimmy. And man, Jimmy Olsen just has the undeniable riz. Like, yeah, I know that's backfired on him sometimes when he dated that one bug lady in Countdown. At least I think that was in Countdown. Yeah, but Jimmy's got that riz, man. And this is no exception. Like, she's down bad for Jimmy. Right? She says, yeah, Earth has temptations. And yeah, she looks at Jimmy, so that's... Oh my... Someone made a comment, like, if the alien warlord told me that I was a temptation, I would be riding the high of that compliment for the rest of my life. Someone said that on Twitter, and that's pretty funny. But yeah, no, I've been seeing people freak out about this episode, and yeah, I think it's interesting. I think them making Supergirl evil for this first appearance is good. At first I was worried about the costume, because the big bulky costume with the weird neck, I do not like. I think that costume is ugly. But the second that big bulky neck part comes off, and it looks like the more traditional, like, black Supergirl outfit, it's like a black Kryptonian outfit. It looks so good with the shoulder pieces. No, like, at first it looks ugly, like, as the, like, Zod outfit, but the second it gets, like, it breaks apart and gets sleeker, it looks so good. And I think I kind of alluded to, I think I talked about this at some point, an integral part of Supergirl's storylines is her becoming evil. Like, Supergirl being brainwashed has been a part of the character since the character's inception. So this is nothing new. I like that. I compared it to Splatoon 2. That, right, in Splatoon 2's story, Callie is being brainwashed by DJ Octavio. But there's also a part of her that genuinely wants to help him and believes that they could do good together even before the brainwashing. And yeah, that's kind of what Kara feels like in this. Like, yeah, she's being brainwashed by Brainiac. But there is a part of her that believes, she's doing good and rebuilding her planet. That balance is important. So yeah, I loved the episode. I'm super excited to see what they do with the next one. Because guess what? The show is great. If you have not been... And the show got picked up for a 3rd season. I want to say they've said they have ideas for 4 seasons. I hope they get all 4. If they want to do more, I hope they get to do more. I know they've said they're not doing Batman. I still hope we get World's Finest. I mean, because this episode also gave us, like, a bunch of comic references. We had Silver Sable. We had... oh, gosh, what's her name? We had Silver Sable. We had Cyborg Superman again, who showed up, like, 3 times this season. We had... You know what I wonder if they're going to do? I know he becomes Cyborg Superman. I wonder if they're going to give the Cyborg Superman guy the Metallo treatment. Where, you know, they turn him into a robot and give him a kryptonite heart. I wonder if they're going to do that to that guy. Because this is like the 3rd time he showed up this season. What if they make him, when they make him Cyborg Superman, it's more like Metallo. Because, you know, they now have an army of Metallo robots, which I think look ugly. I think the Omaxer were better in the 1st season. But regardless. What's her name? Chandra Gupta? Shanti Gupta. She's an Archer character. I think she's a superhero from DC Comics. And the final person is Blue Snowman, who is basically Wonder Woman's Mr. Freeze / Killer Frost / Captain Cold / other character. I don't know. They don't seem to be a super popular character. The modern version of them, from what I was reading, seems to be non-binary. And, like, part of their, like, whole villain motivation is that they want, right, they want, like, better understanding of both the world to better understand them, but they also want better understanding of themselves. That actually seems pretty interesting. But I love the Silver St. Cloud stuff. God, she looks gorgeous. Like, oh my God, just knock you on your feet, man. That's 2 of Bruce Wayne's exes in one show. God, I can't wait until next season when Catwoman shows up. Like, fuck. When Talia al Ghul shows up. With baby Damien. Oh, gosh. I can see it. Yeah, what if when they do World's Finest, instead of doing Batman, instead of doing Lex Luthor and the Joker, it's Lex Luthor and Ra's al Ghul? That could be interesting. And, like, Lex Luthor, and Ra's al Ghul comes to Lex Luthor, and is like, hey, I've got kryptonite. That'd be interesting. Again, I know I just want World's Finest from the animated series. But God, I could watch those episodes 1,000 times. I actually tried to watch an episode of Superman the Animated Series on HBO Max, and it wouldn't let me. Like, I tried to load up the episode, and it just kept crashing. So, did they break something there? They might have broke something there. But either way, My Adventures with Superman is fantastic, man. Like, gosh, I'm so excited to see where the next episode goes, because the preview has, like, this memory helmet, and, like, you know, it's Kara showing, like, hey, this is my memories of, like, Krypton, and, hey, these are, and Clark showing his memories of growing up on Kansas. And he's like, and Kara looks at the memories, and are like, oh, they made you weak. They were teaching you to suppress your powers. And I'm like, no, this ain't fucking Kill Bill. Clark Kent is not the disguise. He's not a parody of humanity. Kill Bill was wrong and stupid. No, the reason why Clark was learning to suppress his powers like that is because the world is made of fucking cardboard. I really hope he says that. Like, I know he's not going to, but, like, him telling Kara, like, oh, I don't try to hide my powers because I'm making myself weaker. I'm doing it because the world is made of cardboard, and there are things I care about that I don't want to break. God, that'd be so cool. God, and there's totally the possibility that the show does something like this, because the show is just so good. Man, I love the show. Finally, some good fucking Superman. I hope James Gunn's show can live up to this. Because this is, after years of shitty Superman. Just years of shitty Superman. And the fact that, like, a lot of people on Twitter just don't understand the character, as seen in reactions to this episode. God, every once in a while, something comes along that's like, yep, we get what makes good Superman, and boy, are we eating right now. And if James Gunn can do it right, then oh boy, are we going to be eating like kings. Okay, we are already eating like kings, but we'll have a feast so grand that the gods will be jealous of us. Man, I really do like Superman. I'm glad I turned... Because as a kid, I thought Superman was dumb. Man, I thought Superman and Lex Luthor were stupid. And then, at some point, it just clicked, and man, I really do love Superman. Not like I'm going to read any of his actual comics anymore. Because, God. Because all DC Comics cares about is Batman. Does this event not have Batman in it? Well, who cares? God, I fucking hate DC Comics, man. I know Heroes in Crisis was like 6 years ago now. I still haven't forgiven them. I still have not forgiven DC Comics for Heroes in Crisis. Fuck, man. But I'm a fan of Wally West, what can I say? I don't like what they did with him after that either. Like, I'm glad his kids are back, or at least were back. I have no idea what's happened recently. Oh, where does the Judd... I've never seen the Judd Neko meme before. Ooh, where do you get that? That's cool. Alright, that's where we're gonna end off. Let's get into the outro. Let's pull a vending machine. Again, there's nothing good in the vending machine for another, like, 80 pulls. It's not for... We're not getting any... Now that I've looked it up, we're not getting anything good from the vending machine ever again. Oh, they did announce the new Splatfest today. It was like, what would you rather rent out? A mansion, an amusement park, or a beach? Which would you rather have, like, your own private, like, yeah. And yeah, of course I'm gonna go amusement park. Man, I want Cartman Land. Yeah, of course we're gonna go amusement park. But yeah, that was announced today. I think it's, like, July 12th or something is the Splatfest. Either July 12th or July 16th. Again, there's only, like, 3 Splatfests left. Wow, nothing new. I have not bought much new stuff from this new update. I'm surprised we're not getting anything new. And, like, we're already not seeing stuff. I swear they added more than, like, 10 things. Where do I see my catalog? Is the Neko Mimi in here? That shirt's in there. The Zontal Z-stripe. Ooh, a sleep mask? Oh, that's neat. I kind of wish you could wear it covering your eyes. I don't hate that varsity jacket either. I knew that hood was going to be in here somewhere. That's a good looking hood. I swear we have that baseball stuff already. I like that jacket as well. No. Huh, I guess it just maybe it's a new item. I don't know where the Neko Mimi came from. I mean, I guess we could talk to them. It is a Squid Force item. Judicial hearing. Yeah, I have no... Because I don't think I have the judicial hearing. I don't think that's... I've never seen that item before. I don't think I have that. Because I don't think it was a DLC thing. At least I don't think so. You know where it might come from? It might come from the Krusty Sean Journey stuff. Because, yeah, I definitely don't have it. I'm surprised they never made a Judd amiibo. You know, they made everything else. See, here's the bear. The teddy band. So, yeah. So, next week, we might not be doing a stream next week. I have a thing to go to. You know, I got a thing to do. So we might not be, I might miss next week. It's no big deal if we do, but you know, or you know, next week might be late is what I'm saying. Like, we might not do it on Friday. I don't know. I do have a birthday next week as well. Or I guess it's technically the week after that. And I have nothing planned for that, I should say. Yeah, it's technically the week after that, but I have nothing planned. So, yeah, I've got nothing planned. But, you know, we'll see. When time comes, it comes, you know. Anything else? No. We'll be back later. We'll be back next week. Or we might not be back next week. We might be, but, you know, we might not be. You never know. I'm going to say probably not. But, I mean, it's post-Nintendo. June, when it comes to video game news, after E3, everything goes dead until, like, August. Until Gamescom. I mean, you never know when something's gonna break. I mean, I know that Switch leaker guy, Pioro or whatever, his contact at Nintendo, he accidentally spilled the beans on who it is. And, people are... And, right, it's like, oh, now that they know how he gets his information, they're coming for that guy, and they might be coming for him as well. Because those Nintendo... Right, leakers work hard. Nintendo ninjas work harder. Of course, you know, if he goes away, well, guess what? It's a Hydra. One leaker gets killed, 2 more take their place. So, yeah. But, that was a story that broke earlier today. I think Jason Schreier broke it. I think Jason Schreier is the one who revealed how we did it. I don't know. I saw the article, but I didn't read it. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end off for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.